Good afternoon, guys. Welcome back into my channel. So in this lab, we're going to talk about how to use Azure Monitor to send emails for health services default. So this article being updated on it says article is on on March 30, 2020. So that's about almost a year ago. So Azure Monitor maximizes the availability and performance of your application by delivering a comprehensive solution for collecting, analyzing, and acting on telemetry for your cloud and on-premises environments. It helps you to understand how your application are performing and proactively identifies issues affecting them and the resources they depend on. So this is particularly helpful for your on-premises hyper-converged cluster. With Azure Monitor integrated, you will be able to configure email, text, SMS, and other alerts to ping you when something is wrong with your cluster or when you want to flag some of the activity based on the data collected. So below, we will briefly explain how Azure Monitor works and how to install Azure Monitor and how to configure it to send your notification. So, bang, bang, bang. So it says understanding Azure Monitor. So all data collected by Azure Monitor fits into one of two fundamental types. It's metrics and log. So metrics, this is very important, guys. Let's go back to this. Oh, sorry. Let's just go back. So metrics are numerical values that describe what aspects of a system at a particular point in time. They are lightweight and capable of supporting near real-time scenarios. You will see data collected by Azure Monitor right in the overview page in the portal. So logs, it contains different kinds of data organized into records with different sets of properties for each type. Telemetry such as events and traces are stored as logs in addition to performance data so that it can all be combined for analysis. So log data collected by Azure Monitor can be analyzed with queries to quickly retrieve, consolidate, and analyze collected data. So you can create and test query using log analytics in the Azure portal, and then either directly analyze the data using these tools or save query for use with visualizing or alert. So this is the onboarding of your cluster with, using Windows Admin Center and configuring the health, configuring log analytics, and so on. So, what we're gonna do is pretty simple though. Install the agent on Windows. We're probably not gonna reach all that far. So let's go ahead and just do what it takes to perform an Azure Monitor. So if you go here and you go ahead and type in Azure Monitor, Just type in monitor. So there we go here. And this is come up. So you got the Azure Monitor. And so the alert will giving you a voice call if the CPU events trigger too high, like you get a phone call or email. That's for the alert. Say if the metric based on the value, like your CPU usage is too high and stuff like that. So it's simply chat here. Then the log would be more like a viewer logs as certain events, like if certain events happen and news to the Azure Monitor. So one way to think of this is basically a filter view informational specifically related to virtual machine, which shows up under a virtual machine. So that's the alert here. See, and you have metrics. So now on the inside, you have the application, we have virtual machine, we have storage, containers, networks, SQL, Azure Cosmos DB, and Key Vault, and everything like that. So, and you see we have a couple of the stuff down here, and the on managed services, you have Prometheus. So this is pretty everything that you need. So if you want to, you could create an alert tool. Let's say if you want to name this, like if you want to, let's say all resources type. Um, you have different resources. Oh, sorry. I was here. I can use my subscription. And for the resources type, I can pick VM. So this, I could choose virtual machine or virtual machine scaling sets, VM application definition, VM application version. So let me just pick virtual machine, and at what location I could choose East US. And now for configuration signal, just hit apply here. Now we have to select a scope. See condition. Okay, so for configuration signal, this is where we could check the CPU, the percentage of the CPU, the data disk, IOPS consume. Let's say we want to choose this. Now we could set a rule on the average that we want the CPU to reach in order for us to send us an email. or a text message or anything like that, we could make this be, let's say, for instance, if we don't want our machine to be turned off, like power off, let's just see if we could. Okay, say if my machine will be power off, I would like to receive, so whatever your goal is, but I'm going to say, like, if my machine will be power off, so I believe that my machine should run 24/7, so should I have to do like maintenance, or if anything happen unexpectedly that I lose power, so the chat period is only 6 hours, you could take either greater than that, like 12 hours, 24, or 3 days, or even over a week. Now let's see the alert rule. So you can select all critical error warning informational and variables. Now let's see the status, whether if it's fail, start, or succeed. And the event, eventually you could pick one or add an event initiator. You could give it a name and then you will proceed. So let's say if we head to action, so now this is where you're gonna add an action. So here's what you would want to do as an action. Let's say we only have one subscription. Let's say message. Um, um, Create an action group. Gotta give it a name. Put it on any region. Now the notification part is what interesting. So how would you like to be notified? Whether if it's on email or messages. If you choose email here, if you were to create an email, you would type the email here, let's say AZ demo test and at outlook.com. So this is just an email I created. It's not really real for the sake of this slide. So the country code, you will type that here. If it's the United States, the one is already here by default, and you will type the phone number here. And you either, if you have an Azure mobile app notification, you could put that, you could type in your email. All you gotta do is just click here. And either if you want the voice to, you could even make notification to as well. So this is pretty neat. Now, I don't want to type in an email here or a phone number and keep receiving these things. They will be annoying. I'm just showing different steps and stage on how to create this, but I'm not making this. And otherwise, I would have to erase this afterwards. And I don't want to be in a situation where I would receive any emails and stuff like that. But this is pretty neat. It's kind of help you out to monitor your system. Just say cancel. So let's just go on action here and see what they have here for us. So on the action, you could either choose automation one book, Azure function, event herb, ITSM and logic, app and secure webhook and webhook. So that's So select the type of action that will be triggered. And the name, provide a unique name for the action under 128 characters. Notification and action names must be unique from one another. And about the selected here, it says when an action type is configured, see selected receive detail below. So I'm sure that Azure Monitor is a very good tool. It's necessary that you add that into your system. It would help. Sorry. So guys, if you wonder if you wonder what is Azure Monitor is used for, well, Azure Monitor is a comprehensive monitoring solution for collecting, analyzing, responding to telemetry from your cloud and on-premises environments. You can use Azure Monitor to maximize the availability and performance of your application and services. So the benefits of Azure Monitor is overall, Microsoft Azure Monitor gives you a unified platform for tracking and monitoring the performance of your app and systems, as well as the resources they rely on. You may also benefit from custom performance tracking by integrating Azure Monitor with many other systems and using custom log query. So if you wonder what kind of data does Azure Monitor collect? Well, Azure Monitor collects data from various sources, including logs and metrics from Azure platform and resources. So custom application and agent running on virtual machines. Now, guys, what is the difference between Azure Metric and Monitor? Well, metrics are numerical values that are collected at regular intervals and describe some aspects of a system at a particular time. Azure Monitor Metrics is one half of the data platform that supports Azure Monitor. So the other half is the Azure Monitor Logs, which collects and organize log and performance data. So if you wonder what are the two main kinds of data Azure Monitor work with, so the data type that does Azure Monitor collects is the application data, data that relates to the custom application code. And the other one is the operating system data, the data that regarding the operating system in which the application is running. So data from the Windows or Linux virtual machine that hosts your application. So now what are the limits of Azure Monitor? You can take a look at this yourself. It's a query. So the query hours per Azure Monitor workspace is 60,000, and the query hours per tenant is 600,000. So I think this is pretty neat. So I would definitely end this video right now. But last but not least, now if you wonder, is Azure Monitor is a platform as service or software as service? Well, Azure Monitor is an SCOM, managed instance previews, and managed instance preview is a platform Platform as Service offering a system center operation management hosted in Azure. Thank you so very much. I'm not gonna make this for the purpose of not getting annoyed and keep receiving alert when I will delete everything after I'm done with this demo session. So please follow along with me and stay tuned for another video in Azure. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.